What's up, everybody? This is Danny.
And this is me, Sebastian.
And so we're going to talk a little bit about an old hero of ours.
Yes.
Howard Stern.
I grew up idolizing this man.
I can think back to when he first started in Canadian radio back in 90, I think it was 96. That I started listening to him then. And
I remember going to school, my mom driving me to school, and me listening to Howard Stern. And my mom was like, oh, he said something bad. And she tried to turn off the radio. I'm like, no!
Yeah, I had my Walkman radio. I'd be listening to him on the way to school. And my teachers would hate it because I'd get in and they'd be like, oh, hey, how's your morning going? Oh, it's great, Howard Stern. Howard Stern. And I remember renting the movie when it came out.
Oh, yes, the movie.
And my mom wanted to kill me. She wanted to kill me.
My mom tried
13.
My mom tried her hardest to not let me and my brothers watch that. I mean, like, okay, you have 3 boys. That movie's going to be seen in that house one way or another.
But the question is, why does he suck now?
Seriously. My theory, he's just a fucking old guy. He just and he like I can't say it's like the censors because like he's on satellite radio, so he could pretty much say what the fuck he wants. But he's kind of run out of material, I think.
I was listening to him. It's been a couple of years since I've listened to him. I was listening to him a couple of days ago. I think it was the last episode of the year.
I remember when you got satellite radio just because he was on satellite radio.
Yeah.
And we sat outside your house listening to him at night.
Yep, we would. Yeah, we would listen to the day's rerun. So I listened to him for the first time in a couple of years the other day, and it was, I think, the last episode of the year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, now the holidays.
And he goes on and on about how Jeff the Drunk doesn't want to be on the show anymore because he feels used and abused by the Stern Show. It was boring. I've never heard such forced conversation. They latched onto this little thing that in the 90s would have been like a 2-minute bit, and they stretched it out to like 40 minutes.
Oh my god.
He's become absolutely boring. I don't get it.
I heard he was retiring.
At this point, if he's gonna offer subpar radio, he might as well retire. The problem is
he's in it for the money.
There aren't any successors for Stern.
Anyone could really, anyone could hop in there and do the same boring shit right now.
Well, boring, yes. What I'm talking about is there isn't anybody who's going to come in and replace what Howard Stern used to be. Opie and Anthony were there for a while. It's a pity that I only really got into Opie and Anthony at the end.
Yeah.
And I mostly got into them at the end when they were having the drama of Anthony getting fired. Going back and listening to some of their old stuff, they were pretty good. But what else? I think, honestly, I'm looking at podcasts as sort of being the way to go now. Like the Joe Rogan podcast is...
Apparently that's a very popular podcast.
It's great. He's good. I love listening to him every once in a while. I mean, he doesn't just...
I've not listened to it.
He doesn't just talk UFC, because that's the thing. Everybody just assumes all he does is talk UFC. He talks sports. He talks comedy. He talks movies. He talks politics. I mean, he's an intelligent man. I don't always agree with him, but at least he's got interesting things to say.
You know what podcast I really like?
What?
That podcast that Danny Costa and Sebastian do.
That's a pretty interesting podcast, yeah.
It's a very interesting podcast. But no, I actually am not in... Even though I make podcasts, I'm not in on the podcast phase. I don't listen to podcasts.
Adam Carolla has a podcast.
Heard that, yeah.
Anthony Cumia had one with Artie Lang, which we have a video up about how Artie Lang is pretty much destroying that. And speaking of Artie Lang, I think the show really, I think that what really started this slide was after he left. Don't get me wrong, the show was still all right. The following 2 years after Artie left, but there was a really abrupt fucking wall that was hit right around the 2-year mark after Artie left, where it just long dragged out interviews, bits that they drag on and on and on. There's only so much more I can listen about cats and dogs.
Well, he actually talks about cats and dogs.
Oh my god, His wife is into saving cats and dogs. Hey, I'm a
Hey,
dog person. I'm a
That
cat
is
person.
yeah.
That
There's
is
nothing
honorable.
wrong with saving cats and dogs. I actually donate to fucking animal shelters because every
Right, yeah.
every animal deserves a forever home.
What I'm saying is, on a comedy show,
No,
where you have guests like Will the Farter, you're
Will
gonna
the
take
Farter.
a 40-minute break to talk about cats and dogs.
No.
To ask Beth Stern, who's Jesus, I miss Allison. At least Allison, when she'd call in her nasally like New York accented voice,
Fucking hate girls
she
with
fucking used
nasally
to. She
voices. Ugh.
she killed it. She killed it. She was great though. Beth. Oh my God. Jesus, she's bored. I don't know. I don't know. And even the prank calls have sort of gotten, at least from what I heard.
He
the
still
other
does
day.
prank calls.
He'll still do prank calls with Sal and
Of
Richard
course.
and whatever.
Of course he will.
I don't know. He's missing. Listen, I've always said this. When Artie came in, I wasn't a big fan of Artie at first. I had preferred Jackie, and I always think Jackie made Howard funny. See, this is how it worked. Jackie made Howard funny.
Yep.
Artie made himself and the show funny. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Howard is great at getting talent together.
Yeah.
And Howard was good at sort of trying to cross the line. Mm-hmm. But Jackie made him funny.
Yeah. And then Artie was already funny.
Artie was already funny,
Yeah,
and he came in and he continued being funny, and he made the whole show funny.
Yeah.
But and that's he needs that. He either needs somebody to come in and feed him lines like they did throughout the 80s and 90s, or he needs that other voice in the room who's going to come in and fucking make people laugh. Because when Howard drones on about nothing,
Yeah.
I'm not laughing. Robin's become a whole, to steal Opie and Anthony's, choice word. She has become sort of a hole in there. She laughs at everything, doesn't contribute anything, and
So she's the show's laugh track.
Jack really, that's all that she's become is the laugh track. I don't know, man. I think it's time for him to seriously retire. He was promising this Howard TV, this Howard video bullshit that was supposed to be streaming. It's already been almost 2 years or a year and a half since the contract, his new contract. They still haven't done that. He's become super PC. Remember Gary the Retard? Mm-hmm. He's not Gary the Retard anymore.
He's not a retard anymore?
No, he's still a retard. He's Gary the Conqueror now.
Oh, great.
Howard won't call him a retard. Remember Wendy the retard?
Now there's going to be, with our, ones of followers,
Yeah.
they're going to say, hey, you shouldn't be using the word retard.
Remember Wendy the retard?
Yes.
She's not Wendy the retard anymore. She's Wendy the slow adult.
Oh, she's a slow adult.
Do you remember Eric the midget before he died? Well, he was Eric the actor. And I know that was a gag for a long time, but towards the end, Howard literally
Please tell me
just
Baba
wanted
Booey's
to
still
call
Baba
him
Booey.
that. No, Baba Booey's Baba Booey because Baba Booey doesn't have anything. Making fun of Baba Booey is just like is tradition on the show. But I don't know. Look, listen, I gotta say that I think it's time for him to retire, or it's time for him to get either a comedy writer in there.
Hang it up, Howard. Hang it up.
Somebody who make him funny. Because look, listen. Sorry, Fred, you ain't writing any funny material anymore.
And sorry, Robin, you're just
And
a laugh track.
And Benjy, you ain't writing funny material either. In fact, Benjy, your material always sucks. All your shit sucks.
Oh shit, we're just calling them all out now.
Sorry, Benjy. I can't believe that Howard traded in Jackie for Benjy. And I know that Howard denies that that's what happened, but that's exactly what happened. You traded in Jackie for Benjy, and Benjy has always sucked. Always.
Very fucking true.
Anyways, that's the end of my Howard Stern rant.
Yep, I have nothing else to add to it. I agree with every goddamn point. Howard, you just... It seems like you just...
Get better, man. That's all I'm saying.
You're just friggin' mailing it in now, bud. It doesn't seem like you care. You're only there for the money.
Yeah, you're like 2 shows a week, every other week.
Yeah.
Anyways, peace.
I am not a crook.
Like, subscribe.